I'm Vinnie Politan. Great to have you with us tonight here on Closing Arguments. It's verdict night. I've got the red tie going. You know why. Big verdict today out in Boise, Idaho. But let's take a moment, just take a step back to realize what we just went through. This was, and I've said it before, I've never seen a case like this in the history of all the cases and trials and investigations I've covered here at Court TV for decades. Never seen anything like it. You know, I've seen evil before, but I've never seen a case so layered, so complex, so many different things, and so much tragedy and so much unnecessary death. And this was not an easy case. It wasn't. And you know, all along, I was fearful because I was there down in Orlando, Florida, when another mother accused of putting duct tape over the mouth of her own child and then lying about where her child was when her child was missing, walked out of the courtroom. Oh, she went back to jail for a couple of days, but then walked out, free to live the rest of her life, not held responsible for what was so obvious to everyone but the 12 jurors. I had that fear all along. But what I learned during the course of this trial, you know, a lot of times you look at the prosecutor and you either blame the prosecutor for not getting the conviction or you congratulate the prosecutor for getting the conviction. No, no, no. In cases like that one in Orlando and the one here, it's won or lost by the investigation. This investigation was absolutely amazing, amazingly thorough. They put things together that just don't get put together. And they were behind the 8 ball, right? They were chasing this thing from behind the whole time because those children were gone for a while. They had to play catch up, but they caught up. And they caught up to Vallow Daybell, the doomsday cult murderer. Take a look.
All right, the court has reviewed the verdict form, find that it's been properly completed, signed and dated, so at this time I'll direct the clerk to please read the verdict into the record. The defendant would please rise.
In the District Court of the 7th Judicial District of the State of Idaho, in and for the County of Fremont, State of Idaho Plaintiff versus Lori Noreen Vallow, aka Lori Noreen Daybell, defendant, case number CR 22211624. Verdict. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn to try the above entitled action for our verdict, unanimously answer the questions submitted to us as follows. Question number 1. In regards to count 1 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan and grand theft by deception? Answer, guilty. Question number 2. In regards to count 2 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Tylee Ryan? Answer, guilty. Question number 3. In regards to count 3 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow and grand theft by deception? Answer, guilty. Question number 4. In regards to count 4, the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow? Answer, guilty. Question number 5. In regards to count 5 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Tammy Daybell? Answer, guilty. Question number 6. In regards to count 7 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of grand theft? Answer, guilty. Dated this 12th day of May, 2023, signed by the presiding officer.
Guilty on all counts. Something that maybe all of us thought was obvious and easy to do, but it wasn't. This was an amazing investigation, and then the prosecutor was able to marshal it, organize it, and really get to the heart of the case and bring his heart into that courtroom. Let's bring in Matt Johnson, Court TV crime and justice correspondent. He is out in Boise, Idaho tonight for the big verdict. Matt, great to see you. Let's take the folks inside that courtroom for this moment that was years in the making.
Years in the making, and one that this community has waited for more than 3 years, right? You know, after that call to action, where are the kids, in 2019, and then charges filed against Miss Vallow Daybell in 2020. Well, inside the Ada County Courthouse, here behind me, Vinnie, it was absolutely quiet. You could hear a pin drop. The deputies said, no emotion, no reaction to that gallery, and they abided by that. Out here at front, it was quiet too, except people were holding up their cell phones to their ears, listening to the verdict being read out live, and then it was cheers and clapping after guilty on all counts. As for the convicted killer now that we can call her that, she wasn't too happy in court today. Crossed arms, sitting there, then standing between her two public defenders. She was upset with them because they pointed the finger at her husband, fifth husband, as the mastermind behind all of this. She wasn't happy with those words. She didn't really talk to them much today, so she was already upset.
You know, upset with that. I mean, they did an amazing job as public defenders. It's you know, they often get overlooked. They have more experience than any defense attorneys in any county in this country. You go around, they're in courtrooms each and every day, trying cases and dealing with very tough cases and tough clients like Lori Daybell. So I think they earned everyone's respect for the job they did and the respectful job that they did inside the courtroom. Matt, a lot of folks showing up to watch this. I'm interested in what the regular folks who showed up, people who wanted to watch this trial, the trial watchers, we call them. What did they think about what happened today?
Reminded me of Colleton County, that Murdoch trial, right? Where you had people driving for miles and miles, crossing state lines just to witness history and be a part and see this jury watching this evidence in action in a case that they're so vested in. So we had a lot of trial watchers that lined up here in front of this courthouse beginning at 4 a.m. just to make sure that they could see the verdict being read, including one trial watcher that I met with a few times. Her name is Julie. Take a listen.
I've been here since day one, since opening statements, and I just felt like it would be a good closure, and I wanted to get a good spot so I could see her and see if she finally could get some emotion. And so I did. I got that first row, and I got a good look at her, and I got zero emotion, none. You could hear some sobs, you could hear a lot of sniffles, and then as soon as the jurors walked out, the family just kind of celebrated together. Lots of hugs, and all the law enforcement got their hugs in with the family, and so it was really a cool thing to see justice be done. I think it's fitting. I think that there's no better place for her than where she is right now.
Vinnie, Julie was here with her daughter each and every day. I think they only missed 2 days of this 5-week trial. It was really important for them to do this together, to see justice. They were so invested because they live here. And even though it was a change of venue, this state is so small. It's just such a community in itself. And no one could even think or imagine that a mother could be guilty of this. So they said it was poetic that she got justice, so the kids did, this Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah. How about the prosecutors? I mean, it's not easy trying to organize all of this, and you know you've got to prove every element beyond any and all reasonable doubt. What did they have to say today?
Fantastic job in court. I mean, they would walk around with a microphone, walk right up to that jury box and explain how this was about sex, power, greed, money. Well, they didn't do any on-camera interviews. They still have work to do, right? They released this statement in part that reads, it's from Madison and Fremont County prosecutors. We are very pleased with the jury's verdict, and we want to thank them as well as the alternates. Remember, the alternates were chosen last minute. For their service over the last 6 weeks during this trial, we want to assure each of you that we remain committed to pursuing justice for Tylee Ryan, J.J. Vallow, and Tammy Daybell. We also want to express sincere appreciation to the many members of law enforcement and the community who tirelessly worked together to hold Lori Vallow Daybell accountable. And you know what? On that point, with law enforcement, they all walked out together from several agencies. I mean, this was such a big investigation, right? They all walked out down the steps together today, and everybody erupted, the trial watchers, and cheered them as they left the courtroom and the courthouse.
They should. They did an amazing. They're the ones who won this case. They're the ones who won this case by uncovering all that evidence, from Lori's hair and the duct tape to finding the children, mapping the GPS, speaking to so many people, getting inside of this cult. Amazing, amazing work.